Students, today we shall discuss second chapter of civics, understanding secularism. So, in the last chapter you studied about the features of the Indian Constitution. So, in the first chapter we have discussed that what are the basic features of the Constitution of India. Due to its multi-ethnic, multicultural and multiracial society, it was essential to follow a path of secularism. As we are knowing, in our country, people of the different origin are living. Ethnic means birth on the base of their origin. Multicultural, different type of cultures are there. Multiracial, different type of races are found. So, because of this type of diversity, it was very necessary for the makers of our country to follow a path of the secularism. Secularism, what is? It is a theory, and on the behalf of this theory, secularism, in a state or in a country, all religions got the equal status. There will not be any type of special religion for the state. In this chapter, we shall study about the various nuances of secularism. So, in this chapter, we shall discuss about the various phases of the secularism. So, here is a speech of the Mahatma Gandhi. I do not expect India of my dream to develop one religion, to be wholly Hindu or wholly Christian or wholly Muslim, but I want it to be wholly tolerant, with its religions working side by side with one another. So Mahatma Gandhi said that I didn't expect that India should be developed as a Hindu country or as a Christian country or as a Muslim country. According to him, he wants that in our country all the religions should get the proper respect and they work side by side. So what is secularism? Ever since humans conceived the concept of community living, they also devised rules of living in the community. So, as we are knowing, human come to know or human started to live in a community. So as they started to live in a community or a group, they also made rules by which they can live in this community. These rules then needed to be administered and members of the community had to be controlled and governed. Later on, after making the rules, that rules should be administered properly and all the members which were of the community, they have to control as well as to govern. Thus started the system of governance, and by this the system of the governance should be followed, means how to operate that area, how to rule. Gradually the communities grew larger and turned into townships, cities and states. Slowly the number of the communities increased, and as a result of that, township developed, cities developed, states developed. Alongside grew faiths, beliefs, religions and followers. And with the development of the town, city and state, the faith, belief and religion as well as the followers also developed. Tolerance for each other's economic status, religion and culture was necessary for happy coexistence. So it was very necessary that people tolerate the economic status of one another, religious status as well as the cultural status, so that they all can live happily. Those who did not have mutual tolerance either moved out themselves or pushed out the others. Those people who were not living with the tolerance, they either moved out of the society or they pushed the others from the society. Similarly, countries of the world have framed their own constitution which laid down if they chose to allow the citizens of all communities, cultural, linguistic and religious faith to live with equal rights or with differing status. So, similarly, as we are knowing that countries of the world frame their own constitution, and in that constitution they allow the citizens of all the communities, culture, linguistic means based on the birth, as well as religious faith, that they live in that country with the equal rights or by the different status. Some countries chose to have a structure wherein religious affinity was supreme for the citizen. Some countries choose such type of structure in which special privilege is given to any religion. The major population of these countries follow a particular religion, and the laws are such with favor their survival and citizenship. And in that country where any specific religion got the supremacy, why that religion got the supremacy? Because in that countries majority of the population were following the particular religion, and laws were made in such a way so that they can give favor for the survival as well as the citizenship. The citizens of other belief or religion are allowed to live within certain framework of rules and restrictions. And in that countries, the citizens who were following the different type of religion, they were allowed to live with some rules and restrictions. Such a system of political social setup is known as non-secular or even theocratic. So that system in which special privilege is given to any specific religion, that is known as the non-secular or the theocratic society. The other system is the one which follows a political and constitutional principle which allows people of all faith and religions to live with equal rights, which is called secularism. So one system is there in which special privilege is given to any religion. One more system is there in which people follow the political and constitutional principle, and according to that constitutional and political principle, all the religions as well as people of all the beliefs and faiths, they can live with the equal rights, or we can say that equal rights is given to all the citizens who are living in that society of the different religions, and that society is known as the secularism. In this chapter we shall study about the various facets of secularism. So in this chapter we shall discuss more facets of the secularism. So understanding secularism, what is secularism? The word secularism was first used by the British writer George Jacob Hollock in 1851. So first time in 1851, British writer was there whose name was George Jacob Hollock. He used the secularism word. Although the term was new, the general notions of free thought on which it was based had existed throughout history. So yet this term was very new at that time, but the common notion means view, the common view of being free was based on such a theory which existed in the society from the history, means from the old time. In particular, early secular ideas involving the separation of philosophy and religion can be traced back to the Ibn Rushd, and in India the Upanishads also talk the Sarvadharma Sambhav, which means respect for all religions. We can say that this idea of the secularism was very back. Why? Because this idea can be traced from some of the religion like the Ibn Rushd, as well as in the Indian Upanishads also something related to it is written, that was the Sarvadharma Sambhav. Holyoake invented the term secularism to describe his view of promoting a social order separate from religion without actively dismissing or criticizing religious belief. So, this term, which was used by the Holyoake, secularism, that describe his view to promote such a social order which can be separate from the religion without criticizing the religious belief of the other religious groups. He felt that secularism was not an argument against Christianity, it was one independent of it. He felt, means according to Holyoake, secularism was not any type of argument which was against the Christianity. It was totally independent. Secularism is a modern political and constitutional principle and has two essential features. So, secularism is a modern political as well as the constitutional principle, and it has two features. What? All individuals have the freedom to live by their religious beliefs and practices as they interpret these. So, all the individuals who are living, they have the freedom to live by their religious beliefs and practices, and these religious beliefs and practices should not be interpreted or should not be harmed. Any well governed state should allow its citizens to live happily and in harmony with each other. Any state which is well governed, that allow its citizens to live happily and to live in the harmony and peace. This would only be possible if they protect the fundamental rights of all citizens and make the social environment safe and secure for them. So all the citizens who are living, they can live happily and with peace. It can be only possible if the fundamental rights of all the citizens are being protected, as well as state is providing such a social environment which is safe and secure for everyone. People should not feel oppressed, dominated, or insecure. People who are living there, they should not feel oppressed, they should not feel dominated, as well as they should not feel the insecure. The state and the religion should be separate. Yes, state as well as the religion both should be separate from each other. In this picture, the state keeps itself away from interfering in the affairs of the people, religion, and belief. So, by this feature, every time state should be away from interfering the affairs of the people's religion as well as their belief. This allows freedom to interpret religious teachings differently or permit citizens to exit from their religion and have the freedom to embrace another religion. And by this freedom, people are free to interpret the religious teachings of the religion in a different way, as well as they are free to exit from one religion and to accept the another religion. The people have the right to make their own decisions, and government does not legislate on issues regarding religious interpretations and beliefs. The people who are living there, they are free to make their own decisions, and government have not power to interpret their decisions, to change their decisions. Positive ideals in a secular society. Means in a secular society, what are the good things? Deep respect for individuals and the small group of which they are a part. In a true secularism society, there is a deep respect for all the individuals as well as the small groups which are living. Equality of all people. All people are equal. Each person should be helped to realize their potential. In this society, each person should be helped by another so that they can know about their actual potential. Breaking down the barriers of class and caste. All the barriers which are of the caste as well as the class, that should be break up. Now, why secularism? Means why secularism is necessary? Nearly all countries of the world would normally have more than one religious groups living in them. Approximately all the countries which are of the world, they have more than one religious groups which are living. As the population is not equally divided into different religions, there would be different number of people following different religions. As we are knowing, the population of any country is not equally divided on the basis of their religion. That's why we can say that in the country, different number of people can follow the different type of the religion. The people following the religion which has the most number of followers in a country is termed as the majority community, while the people following other religions are termed as the minority communities. So, in the country, the people who are following the maximum number of the maximum people who are following the one religion, that are termed as the majority community, and if less number are following any religion, that is known as the minority community. While the social order is most controlled and generally dictated in an autocratic, theocratic, or non-secular state, things are different in a democratic state. So, as we are knowing, social order is more controlled, and it generally say a autocratic, theocratic, and non-secular states. We can say that in a democratic state, such things are totally different. In a democracy, the government is elected through general elections, and it is largely possible that the government or policy makers would be from the majority community. Because in a democracy, we are knowing that government is elected by the general elections, so we can say that it is possible that government or policy makers can be chosen from the majority community. Thus, usually the majority religious groups would have access to state power, and it could easily use their power to discriminate against and persecute persons of other religion. So, if government is chosen from the majority community, a lot of possibilities there that the people who are in the power, they can misuse their power so that they can discriminate the people of the other religion. The majority could cause discrimination, coercion, and at times even the killing of religious minorities or prevent minorities from practicing their religion. So we can say that majority community can cause the discrimination, coercion, as well as sometimes we can say that they can kill the people of minority community who are of the different religion. Any form of religious dominion will go against the basic rights of the citizens, and such type of religious dominion can go against the rights of the citizens. Means if peoples are of the different religion, we can say that they can't get the equal right in the society. This tells us why secularism gains importance, especially in a democratic society and state. So, by this we can say that why in a democratic society or state, secularism became more important. Now, secularism in India. India has had a history of various rules and invasions in the past. As we are knowing, in our country, various rulers were there. A lot of people invaded India, attacked India. They have led to India having people with varied religious beliefs and faiths. And because of this, India became such a country where different type of peoples were there who have the different type of religious beliefs as well as the faiths. During the 18th century, when the British East India Company began to gain total control over India, the ideas of secularism began to have impact on the Indian mind. So from the 18th century, when British East India Company started to control the India, the idea of the secularism came in the mind of the Indian people. Until then, religion was considered to be inseparable from political and social life. Till that time, it was very difficult to separate the religion from the political as well as the social life. The original text of the preamble as adopted by the Constituent Assembly did not contain the word secular. It was inserted into the preamble by the 42nd Amendment 1976 of the Constitution. So we can say in the original text of the preamble, which was adopted by the Constituent Assembly, at that time secular word was not there. But this secular word reinserted in the preamble by the 42nd Amendment in the year of the 1976. So we can say in the 1976 by the 42nd Amendment, the word secular was inserted in the preamble. In the Indian context, secularism adopt the following features. If we will talk about the secularism in the sphere of the India, it implies equal respect to all religions. Means equal respect should be given to all the religions. It also means that India does not have an official state religion. It shows that India has not any type of official or the state religion. All citizens, irrespective of their religious beliefs, are equal in the eyes of the law. All the citizens are equal before the law, either they are of any religion. Then Indian state is not ruled by any religious group. Indian state is also not ruled by any specific religious group. In India, government establishments are not supposed to promote any religion. And in India, government can't promote any religion. For the government, all religions are equal. People are free to preach, practice and propagate religion of one's choice. They are even free to exit from their religion to embrace other religion. People are also free to teach, practice and spread the religion of their own choice. They are also free to exit from their own religion and embrace or accept the another religion. Now, secularism in India and USA. A comparison study is there that how secularism is in the India, how it is in the USA. There is a difference in the interpretation of secularism in India as compared to some other countries. So there is difference means how secularism is followed in India as well as some other countries. Indian form of secularism is different from that of some other countries like the USA. So Indian form of the secularism is different from the other countries like the USA. In the United States of America, the first amendment of the US Constitution prohibits the legislature from making laws respecting an establishment of religion or that prohibit the free exercise of religion. In the United States of America, by the first amendment which was made in the Constitution, it prohibits or it stops the legislature from making any law by which they can respect any religion. So we can say it prohibits the people, it stops the people to follow the religion of their own choice. Use of the term establishment means that no religion can be declared as the official religion. Here we can say in the USA also, any religion is not declared as the official religion. Thus, there cannot be any interference by the state in the affairs of the religious bodies or vice versa. So we can say in the USA, state didn't make any type of interference in the religious affairs of any people. In India, the state does not intervene in religious matters and impose laws for the overall improvement of the society. In India also, state didn't make any type of restriction on practicing the religion, and it makes such type of law so that there can be the overall improvement of the society. This is necessary as many people still uphold some harmful beliefs which had set in centuries ago due to religious ignorance and superstitions. And this is necessary in the India because still many peoples are practicing the harmful beliefs which they adopted from the centuries ago because of the superstitions. To understand this better, let us take the example of the old custom of dowry, sati and untouchability practiced by some Hindus. To understand these superstitions of the Indian people, we can get the example of some of the old traditions and customs which were followed in India, like the dowry, like the sati, and the untouchability, and this were practiced by the Hindus. The government has instituted laws to ban these age-old customs which were turning into a social menace. Government made laws so that they can ban such type of old practices. The British during their rule in India had codified laws pertaining to practices within religions on the subcontinent. British during their rule in India, they also made some law so that this old practices of the different religious groups which were practiced in India can be stopped. To this effect, they instituted separate laws for Hindus, Muslims, Christians, Sikhs, Parsis, and other as part of their policy. To make these rules more effective, they made different laws for the Hindus, for the Muslims, Christians, Sikhs, and the Parsis. In doing so, they laid the foundation for a non-uniform civil code which remains largely unchanged to this day. And by doing this, they laid the foundation of a non-uniform civil code which is still in India and nearly with no change. Some countries have banned the veils worn by women of the Muslim community, but India has been more sensitive to people's traditions and beliefs as long as they do not harm the other citizens. In maximum countries, there is ban on the veils, means burqa, which are worn by the Muslim women. But in India, it is so much sensitive that government didn't interfere in this. For example, the madrasa system of education in the Muslim community is allowed, but the Sikhs are not required to wear helmets while driving two-wheelers, while others are required to. In the for the Muslims communities, they can get the education in the madrasas, as well as Sikhs are not forced to wear the helmet. Why? Because they wear the yes. Thus, the laws have been more tolerant to the essence of religious beliefs, and if it needs to be understood that secularism is to help and facilitate the citizens to continue in their belief and faith. So we can say that law is little bit tolerant in the religious beliefs of the people, and it should be understood that secularism is to help and give facility to the citizens to follow their belief as well as the faith. The model of secularism adopted by the India is thus more tolerant toward the teachings of the various religions. So we can say that the model of the secularism which is adopted by the India is more tolerant towards the religious teachings of the other, thus ensuring no one, whether in majority or minority community, feels threatened by the state with regard to his faith or belief. So it ensures that whether the people is from the majority or the minority community, they are not being threat they are not being threatened by the state regarding to their belief and the faith. Yet as a part of governance, the state has always tried to prevent malpractices, superstitions, and dangerous activities both by the spreading education and awareness as well as enactment of laws. But as being a governance body, state always try to prevent the malpractices, superstitions, and dangerous activities by spreading the education and awareness as well as by making the strict laws for this. So this was all about the chapter. Bye bye.